the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. Coming at you live from the Hammer Down Racing Report home studios. Presented by Oakshade Raceway. I'm your host, Scott Hammer, along with Ron Miller, Jerry Keyser.
Hey, everybody.
Coming at you live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Be sure to like us. Follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. Follow us on YouTube, too. Why not?
Yeah.
Of course, you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spreaker. Actually, where our podcasts are actually located. Spreaker, yeah. And then it goes everywhere from there. And you can check out the podcast now on, I updated our HammerDownRacingReport.com webpage. So all the shows are right there, right when you go to HammerDownRacingReport.com.
Yeah.
Crazy thing. I mean, why would I want all the shows on HammerDownRacingReport.com? I don't know. Tonight on the show, we got a big one for you.
That's not what I went to that website for.
What's that? What do you go to that website for?
That's where I link my ad hoc network so I can hide where I'm watching other stuff from.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my proxy IP
All right.
addresses for HammerDownRacingReport.com.
Tonight on the show, we're going to be speaking with Thad Moffitt, ARCA driver, grandson of Richard Petty. He'll be at Toledo Speedway this weekend for the ARCA Menard Series event Saturday night. And also, we'll be speaking to Greg Stilwell Jr., who won the late model sportsman feature at Toledo Speedway this past Sunday. He's going to be calling in a little bit later, about 7:40-ish, 7:45, because he's got his kids' softball, baseball.
Baseball.
Just make sure you ask him about the fact that he was supposedly retiring. He was weeks away from hanging up the helmet, from what I understand.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, that's what
Was that before his win back in 19, the Gold Cup deal?
No, that was before this. He wasn't. He was just about done, supposedly. Is what I heard. Now,
Right.
don't quote me on this.
We'll ask. We'll definitely ask.
All right, and look forward to me next week.
Okay, or just watch the show. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Well, and it's pretty reasonable. He's got kids that are in sports, and he takes care of them. He's got a very nice lawn business, and it all takes time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Want to thank Oakshade Raceway, our presenting sponsor. We're the fastest meet to race every Saturday night. Starting this weekend, May 22nd, we will have another full show of late model sports and bombers compacts. Next week's American Late Model Series making its return. Debuted at Eldora a couple weeks ago, first show of the year. So interesting to see how that goes. Also, brand new sponsor back on, actually not brand new, but back with us. It's been about a year. Big D's Pizza sighting in Indianapolis.
Really?
Not sure what that means, Dave, but okay. Freeze Frame Photos is back on board for all your racetrack photo needs, whether on the track or Victory Lane. They have 24 years of memories at Oakshade, Toledo, and other tracks around the area. They can do photo shoots by appointment, special moments, frozen in time. Give them a call, 419-476-9978. Number's right down there, right under Jerry.
Or you can find them every Saturday night at Oakshade Raceway.
There you go. Also, thanks to Big D's Pizza, subs, ribs, chicken, and more in Clyde, Ohio, 419-547-1444. Order online, orderbigdspizza.com. That's the address, orderbigdspizza.com. And get their...
Caps racing in Indy tonight at Circle City. Big
Hey.
Caps car, Indianapolis.
Gotcha, that.
Yeah, now it all makes sense.
Yeah, okay. You can order the Big Nut Barbecue Sauce, $5.99 a pint. Big D's Pizza, big on taste, not on price. A lot of action this past weekend, Jerry. Before we get to that, I want to mention Real Geese Silhouette DKs.
Decoys.
Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Millstream Speedway, and, of course, Ron Miller Race Cars.
I will say, mention him because I just went to the home of Ron Miller Race Cars, picked up some safety gear for my truck to get ready for next month's events at Lima Land and Oakshade for the trucks. So thank you, Ron Miller, for taking care of me, making sure I'm safe behind the wheel of my truck.
Yeah, well, we try.
I ordered stuff from him, too.
Yeah.
So what let's talk about the action from last weekend, Jerry.
This week's Racing Roundup, once again brought to you by Tim Sims. Tim's Dirt Track Simulators in Lima, Ohio, the home of the Hillbilly High Banks. Lots of racing action to go over. Attica Raceway Park was in action with Stuart Brubaker holding off Chris Andrews and Brandon Spithaler to win the AFCS 410 feature Friday night. It's Brubaker's 9th career 410 win at Attica. 2016 track champion Matt Irie survived a tangle with a lap car coming to the checkers to win the late model feature over Ryan Markham and Tyler Thompson. It was Irie's 2nd win of the season. Paul Weaver got back in victory lane in the AFCS 305 feature for his 60th career 305 win. Jamie Miller finished 2nd and Steve Rando was 3rd. My home track, Lima Land Motorsports Park, finally back in action for the first time since August of 2019. Stratton Briggs picked up the win in the USAC Midwest Thunder Midget feature, honoring Mike Stryker after Jacob Denny had heartbreak. Final lap, final corner, lap car spun in front of him, nowhere to go. That put Briggs on the pole for the restart, and he was able to run away with it, picking up the win over Chet Gerke and Ian Krieger. Jordan Conover won the Bud Thunderstock feature in the 7C, and Craig Dipman was 2nd there. Casey Barr was 3rd. Jeff Kaz picked up the modified win over Dylan Woodling and Shane O'Connor. Kaz, that was his first time in a race car since August 2019 as well, so no rust for Jeff Kaz. Chris Hicks picked up the Dirt Track Truck Series feature over Kenny Douglas and Dwayne Powell. Oakshade Raceway was in action with 6-time track champion Rusty Schlink parking in winner's circle after the late model feature Saturday night. Point leader Devin Shields couldn't chase him back down and settled for 2nd with Casey Noonan in 3rd. Rusty Smith led flag to flag in the UMP Sportsman feature to win over Carter Murday and Mike Jessen. Colin Schilt picked up his first Bomber A-Main win of the season over last week's feature winner Gabe Mueller finishing 2nd. Adam Lance was 3rd. Eric Carr somehow won the compact A-Main despite only running on 3 cylinders. Dylan Burt won the Bomber B. Charity Roby won her 2nd consecutive compact B, and Jeff Wells got the Bomber C main win. How does somebody pick up a win in the compacts on 3 cylinders? Was it slick enough to be on the bottom? I mean, was that the trick?
Compacts are just fun to watch.
I'm thinking it just happened right towards the end.
He dropped back in about the middle of the race. He was up there racing with the leaders, dropped back, and then I think some of the leaders had issues, and somehow he got back up there.
Yep.
That's impressive. That's cool. Very, very good. Congratulations there to Eric Carr. That's awesome. Fremont Speedway was in action with DJ Foose waiting to the white flag lap to take the lead from race long leader Trey Jacobs, and then held up a last lap challenge from Byron Reed to earn his 2nd 410 sprint win of the year. In the makeup feature for the Pub 400 night from April 24th, Lemoore, California's Cole Macedo took the lead from Stuart Brubaker on a restart and never looked back, winning by nearly 6 seconds for his first career Fremont Speedway victory. He would take the win over Brubaker, Travis Philo, DJ Foose, and Brian Smith. Fremont's Dustin Stroop held off a very late race challenge from defending Fremont Speedway track champion Paul Weaver to earn his 2nd straight Fremont Federal Credit Union 305 sprint win. Well, that's the challenge to hold off Paul Weaver in a 305. That's pretty awesome. Sean Valeni held off several challenges and drove to his 2nd Burmeister Trophy dirt truck feature of win of the year. It's his 63rd career victory at Fremont Speedway, placing him alone in 2nd place on the all-time win list, just 13 behind the legend Art Ball. Jim Holcomb finished 2nd, and Bradley Stuckey finished 3rd. Sandusky Speedway was in action with Clayton Oliver taking the Renegades feature over James McKay and Andrew McCall. In the pure stock was Kyle Lawson winning over Bill Rabbits and Johnny Newman. Laney Najetti took the victory in the beginner stocks over Ethan Rasiska. Shady Bull Speedway was in action with the Wooten Automotive and Towing Modifieds being won by Mike Carroll. Adams Automotive Street Stocks A-Main was picked up by Buck Pertee. In the Herod Septic Solutions Compacts, it was Mike Wintrow in a very emotional victory after losing one of his best friends earlier in the week that supported him and several of the compact drivers, Justin Dreer. So congratulations for Mike winning that. And then the Noble Armor Coatings Crown Vics, Jimmy McElfresh picked up the victory. Eldora Speedway was in action with Hudson O'Neill dominating the 5,000 to win ALMS feature Saturday. Darrell Lenigan finished a distant 2nd with Devin Moran 3rd. In UMP modified action, Jesse Weiscarver picked up his first ever career Eldora victory over Dylan Woodling and Brian Ruhlman. Rob Trent held on to win the Superstock feature over Jordan Conover and Tony Anderson. Flat Rock Speedway was in action with a pair of first-time winners gracing the Monroe Asphalt's winner's circle Saturday afternoon. Gary Cronowet scored his first ever win in the ARCA DTS Drivetrain Specialist Street Stock A-Main, while Taylor Papineau notched his initial checkered flag in the Street Stock B-Main contest. Dennis Wisman Jr. took his 2nd win in the ARCA Figure 8 feature, and race, I'm going to totally slash this, Met DePenigan
Metapennigan.
Metapennigan?
I'm not the only one.
Okay. I wasn't too terrible.
Rich France and Gary Lindahl, they're just, his name's just I still, even after I hear him, Metadepican.
That's like our buddy at Oakshade.
McManamy,
you got it. That's even worse. But Bennigan, that guy took the victory in the 250 lap enduro. Toledo Speedway was in action with Jack Franzel winning the Central Avenue Truck Parts School Bus Figure 8 Sunday afternoon, winning the 25-lap ARCA R&M Recycling Late Model Sportsman feature with Sylvania, Ohio racer Greg Stilwell Jr., who we'll talk to here in just a little while. Randy Paget was the winner in the Vault Antiques and Treasures ARCA Factory Stock feature race, and surviving the boat figure 8 race winner was Dave Lambert. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint cars were in action with Carson Macedo leading all 25 laps during night one of the Morgan Cup at Williams Grove Speedway on Friday. Lance DeWeese just didn't have enough to score his 100th victory at the track and had to settle for second. Brett Marks and his family-owned car finished third. On Saturday, Aaron Reisel led all 30 laps to make a $15,000 winner's check and a 2.19 second triumph over Gio Selzy. Lance DeWeese entered the picture towards the end, but just couldn't maneuver lap traffic and had to settle for third. Logan Schuhart soared past Carson Macedo on lap 11 and ran away with his second World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series triumph of the season at Bridgeport Motorsports Park on Tuesday night. It marks his 25th Outlaw win of his career. Macedo held on to finish second, and Anthony Macri rounded out the podium for the third time in a row. Next up for the Outlaws, tomorrow night at Attica Raceway Park and Saturday at Sharon Speedway. So it's going to be some good times here in Ohio for the Outlaws. Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions were in action Friday night at I-96 Speedway, and it featured a clash between Tyler Courtney's aggression and Ian Madsen's consistency. In the end, Courtney won out, dominating the second half of the 30-lap feature for the victory. Kyle Reinhardt led all 25 laps to win his first Flow Racing All-Star Circuit of Champions feature Saturday night at the dirt track at Route 66. Although Reinhardt was able to control all 25 circuits, it wasn't a walk in the park as Tyler Courtney and Corey Eliason did their best to overtake Reinhardt, but they had to settle for second and third respectively. Cap Henry came home fourth. Sounds like Cap's in action tonight with the inaugural races at Circle City Raceway in Indianapolis, Indiana tonight and tomorrow. On Saturday, the series will head to Gas City I-69 Speedway in Indiana, and Sunday it's to the Kokomo Speedway. So Indiana swing this weekend for the All-Star Circuit of Champions.
Are you sure it's not Circuit City?
It is Circle.
Circle City.
Circle City.
Oh, I thought Circuit City was coming back. Hey, we're going to break in here. We got Thad Moffat on the phone here. Thad, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. I like it when things work. Thanks for joining us tonight. You got a big race coming up this week. How big do you consider Toledo Speedway on the ARCA Menard schedule? I mean, it's not Daytona or anything, but I'm guessing it's still an important race.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially kind of kicking off this stretch. You know, we have Toledo and then Charlotte and then Mid-Ohio. It kind of starts our summer stretch. And then, of course, it's always the home track for the ARCA series every time we go. So it's always a big deal for them. And it's a really, really unique short track. It's really, really fun to race there. And I've had a lot of speed the past couple of years. This stuff hasn't really gone right. So it's usually a pretty big kickoff for our summer points battle kind of.
Well, let's dive a little bit into your background. You know, I'm sure you're probably sick of hearing this, grandson of Richard Petty. Originally, how did you get into racing? Because I was reading some things about you, and you were involved in all kinds of different sports, and it sounds like you got to a point where you had to make a decision of what you wanted to do.
Yeah, so when I was 8, we ran really good in the Daytona 500, or my grandpa's team did. Eric Amarola was driving, and I was walking with Grandpa to pit road after the race, and I was like, it hit me. I was like, man, this could be me one day. And so I asked him, and I asked him for like 6 months to buy me a go-kart. It took him forever to actually consider doing it because of what happened to Adam that the year I was born. So it took him a while to get me into it. And then it was like once I ran my first go-kart race, it was like I had a bug and it just never went away. And I would just keep bugging them, keep letting me race every weekend. I mean, we were traveling all over the place. but I was still wanted to play like football and baseball with all my friends all the way up until my sophomore year of high school. And we had a football game, and we had on Friday night, and I raced 3 different classes the next day at Hickory Motor Speedway. And, so we went into a couple overtimes in the football game, and then the next day I pulled triple duty and ran it was just limited and late model, but late model races were like twin 50s or something. So it was 3 separate races. And at the end of the night, they had to like pull me out of the car. I was so dehydrated and wore out, and I was like, man, if I'm going to do this racing stuff, like I got to pick one or the other. Like I got to take it serious. And, so that's whenever I decided to kind of give up my traditional sports like football and basketball and just go racing full time from there.
Were you any good at football, basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I played for a long time. I started when I was 6. I played middle linebacker and fullback, all the way through my sophomore year of high school. And so I guess I was all right, good enough to make all the teams and start on both sides of the ball.
I would think that the conditioning involved in that probably prepares you pretty well for racing as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a difference for like every sport. You know, like baseball players have just huge forearms, and football players are just overall really, really big dudes, and then basketball players jump really high. And I think like NASCAR, I mean, it's a lot of mental focus and stamina, like withstanding the heat. And then I feel like most of the G-forces and everything goes to our core and our lower back. So we have to have pretty strong lower back muscles and core muscles. That's what I tend to work out like the most. And then just do cardio to build stamina. But I think like every sport kind of has a unique skill set you have to participate at the highest level.
Now you're a younger guy here. I mean, you have a big workout routine.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the guys I race with, we train pretty hard. You know, I mean, it gets to be like 100 plus in the car almost every race, and so like just to be able to keep your mental focus while being that hot is pretty tall task on top of driving the race car and giving feedback and all that stuff. So, I mean, most of us work out pretty regularly. It's like 5 days a week I work out. So,
all right. And you've been driving in the ARCA series for a few years now. How many years you been with ARCA?
3.
I thought it was more than that. So you've only been last year you switched to David Gilliland's team.
Yeah.
How
well,
was?
I guess this would be the 4th year.
4th year. Okay, that sounds.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go with that. How has that transition been? I mean, last year was kind of a weird year, anyways. Are things starting to get back to normal, or are you getting into a routine?
Yeah, I think that me and my team, like I've mostly the same team from last year, and I think we've grew to be pretty close. And I have my same engineer, my same crew chief, and he's been really, really good. Derek Smith is his name, and he's been really, really good. Being my crew chief, I feel like sometimes he knows what I'm going to say before I say it now, but I think we've kind of bonded and got a little closer, and everybody's hitting on all 8 cylinders right now, and we're 5th in points. We have 3rd place finish and then 2 6th place finishes, and then of course Daytona we got an incident early, but I think we have a lot of speed right now. We just need to be a little more consistent and being in the top 5 and top 3, and I think our win's coming soon.
You've had a great last few races, obviously, and you talk about being in shape and being in the race cars. I'm just curious, do you do anything for your hand-eye coordination? Do you do any like the sim racing, iRacing, some of those events?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So most of the iRacing stuff, we do hosted races and stuff like that with other drivers. And then a lot of times I'll get on there and just run laps by myself and practice just to keep up with the hand-eye coordination. And getting a feel for the track before I even show up to the track is always helpful. So I really appreciate them letting us use that as a tool for us.
Yeah, do you feel that's a very effective tool now that iRacing has gotten so advanced as far as setups, things like that?
I feel like it doesn't completely translate over to a car, but it's about as close as you can get for what it is. Like a lot of the hand-eye stuff is really helpful, and then most of the time if I pick a lift point or a brake point on the iRacing, it's within a couple 100 feet when I get to the track. So it's just about as close as you're probably going to get.
So you got Toledo this week. Are you still at home in North Carolina, or when do you actually get into town?
So we actually are flying up on Saturday and then flying out Saturday night because we don't even get on track till I think 4:00 in the afternoon Saturday or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just fly in for the day and then fly out that night after the race.
Is that pretty typical for most of the races? Just coming out the day of the race.
It wasn't until last year in COVID because beforehand we had like autograph sessions the day before and meet and greets the day before and stuff like that. And I really missed spending the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with practice, qualifying, and getting to meet people and be in front of the fans a little bit. But hopefully we get back to that here pretty soon. It seems like it's going in that direction with the mask going away and having full grandstands. So I'm excited about it.
Do you see NASCAR going back to multi-day practice sessions, or are they kind of stuck with the same day program that they've had since last year?
Well, I mean, they're trying it in COTA this weekend. They're going to do practice for every series the day before the race. So I see them working that back into the schedule. I don't see them making a whole lot of changes before the end of the year. But I think that they'll go back to what they traditionally had, getting the drivers there for the weekend and getting them in front of people, in front of their sponsors, and just being able to practice a little bit. I think that it's kind of hurt a lot of the drivers that have been trying to move up in series, not being able to practice and work on their cars and gain experience at the tracks until they're 10, 20 laps into the race. We don't even know what our car is going to do. So I'm looking forward to having practice at Toledo and practice and qualifying at Toledo. And I think it'll be beneficial in helping us have a good run.
Now, you mentioned your third place finish. I believe that was Phoenix. That was your best finish in the ARCA series?
Yes, that was our best career to date finish. We led laps in that race, and we ran probably top 5, 6 all night. The 18 car was really, really fast. And then on a final restart, we ended up going from 4th to 3rd. And I thought it was a pretty good race for us. We lacked a little bit of speed to be able to run in those front two. But I think that we're getting there. And I'm really excited, like I said, to go to Toledo. I think that the speed we had last year didn't really correlate with our finishes because we had the starter wire go out on the grid before we started the race the first day of the doubleheader. And then on the second day, we lost a radio like 30 laps in. I think we lost 2 laps on pit road changing it and then got them back and finished like 8th or something. But we really had a lot of speed.
So what's your confidence level of maybe getting that first win this weekend at Toledo? Uh-oh. You still there?
I think we lost Thad.
Oh, no.
Wait, hold on a second. Thad, you still there?
Yeah, you got me still?
Got you now.
We are.
Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard me or not, but what's your confidence level as far as possibly getting that first win going into the race at Toledo this weekend?
I think if we play our cards right and let the race and the track come to us, obviously we have to have a good car. We have to not make any mistakes on pit road, and I have to not make any mistakes on the track and restarts and stuff like that. And I think if we can just let the race come to us, we'll definitely be there at the end. I'm really confident that we'll run in the top 3, but I think we'll for sure have a shot.
A little heads up that some of the other teams aren't getting. Bring your slick track set up because it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
90,
yeah, we were looking
90 degrees.
Yeah, we were looking at the weather. I'm imagining it'll be a bit of a fatigue race too. Being that hot, we'll probably get pretty hot in the car. But 200 laps, it should be fun.
Yeah,
slick, hot, wear out our right rear, right front tires.
It'll be a driver's race.
Yep, be a driver's track. Yeah.
So I read that you consider yourself the worst qualifier in the world. Why, is that still true? And why is that?
That's me, Scott.
That's you don't qualify. Me. You just draw a pill.
Yeah, so I'm not very good at qualifying. It seems like I always have a really fast race car in practice until everybody starts mocking up. And when they do their practice qualifying run, it's like they pick up 4 tenths and I only pick up like half a tenth. I don't know why that is. I'm working on it. It's something I've been really trying to work on, but not having qualifying the past couple of years has really like hurt my ability to be able to work on that. But there's definitely an edge you have to find qualifying. And I've qualified well a few times, like over my career, but most of the time it seems like I don't really qualify like where I feel I should. But hopefully we can turn that around. I think this is one of the first races we've qualified for this year, right? Because we started off of practice in Phoenix, started off of points in Kansas or practice in Kansas. I guess Daytona, we qualified at Daytona.
Would you prefer they just did away with qualifying altogether?
Yeah, I mean, that means I would start in the top 5.
There you go. Let's do it. Fit them points. Speaking of which, are you thinking possible championship here? I mean, 5th in the points. I mean, you're definitely a contender.
Yeah, so we have 5 races that are unsold, and so we're looking to get those last 5 races sold. But we're definitely wanting to run for a championship this year. You know, I think we have a shot at it for sure. We've been running really good. We've been really consistent. Just the 20 car has been really, really consistent. I think he has like an average finish of like 1.8 this far or something with his 2 wins. But I think that we definitely have a shot if we can keep running like we are and keep the speed that we have and just not make any mistakes and have any really bad DNFs. I think we'll be there when it comes down to Kansas at the end of the year.
Now, you used to keep a penny under your seat, and I believe you don't do that anymore. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, I used to keep a penny under my seat, and it didn't seem to fall my way in the end. So now I don't really have a whole lot of rituals that I'll do.
No superstitions.
On the race day. Yeah, superstitions.
How did you keep a penny under your seat? Did you tape it? I mean, how would it even stay there?
Yeah, it's just a piece of tape, like a piece of clear, what do they call it, box tape or whatever.
Gotcha. Maybe go for a quarter or a 50-cent piece. Maybe you I don't know.
If I find one on the ground, I'll definitely try.
There you go.
That's something our listeners want to know. Does Richard have any input at all in your racing? Does he ever give you any advice?
Yeah, he's actually really influential. You know, he always talks to me after the races and asks me what I need to win the race, like where I felt like I lacked speed to win the race. And sometimes it might be me and sometimes it might be the car. But he usually just talks to me and kind of gets my opinion and then tells me things that maybe he would have done a little differently. I think that our cars have changed so much. His driving style, like
sure.
1 foot brake. Yeah, he like only drove with his right foot. And if you do that in NASCAR nowadays, there's not a chance, you know. So I think that we've changed a lot. You know, my Uncle Kyle really helped me. I think a little more because he was more relatable. The cars he drove up until his retirement were a little more relatable to the stuff we're driving now. But Grandpa definitely is pretty influential in not just my racing career, but just as a person, you know, the way you treat people, the way you talk to people, all that stuff. He's a really good job. He does a really good job at that, and he tries to teach me kind of the same thing.
And your car number kind of has something to do with your family racing history as well, right?
Yeah, so I would be the 4th generation race car driver, but I'm the 5th petty to drive because me and Adam are actually cousins. So my great grandpa Lee was 42. Richard was 43. My uncle Kyle was 44, and then Adam was 45. So I fall in right there at 46.
Very good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead.
We're going to try and cover all the 40s, I guess. Just keep it going. I think we're like the only 4 generation in any professional sport. So it's pretty cool
Impressive.
to be part of that. But hopefully we can keep it going.
And you have aspirations eventually to get to the Cup Series, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think every short track driver kind of feels that at some point they want to drive that kind of stuff. But of course, there's a lot that goes into making it to that level, and hopefully I see it fit that it works out.
All right. Well, something you may not know, but our guests on the show, typically, at least the driver guests we have on the show, go on to be fairly successful in their next race. So Toledo Speedway, don't let us down there. Expecting to win.
All right, I'll try not to.
All right,
I'm
man.
looking forward to it now. Maybe that's my good luck storm.
There you
I
go.
might have to call in before every race.
There you go. You can tape us under your seat. All right, Thad Moffitt,
right.
we appreciate it, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yep.
Thanks
See
so
ya.
much, Thad.
Thanks, Thad.
Thank you.
There you go. Thad Moffitt, the Thaddeus Moffitt, actually, grandson of the infamous, I guess he's not infamous, the famous Richard
Yeah.
Petty. Yeah.
The next generation of the famous Petty clan.
There you go. Do you got time to finish the racing roundup there, Jerry? You got to take off.
We can wrap this up real quick. We were down to the NASCAR results from this past weekend. Austin Cindric earned his 3rd win of the season, topping the NASCAR Xfinity Series Dryden 200 at Dover International Speedway by 3.796 seconds over Josh Berry after not having the best car early in the race. Berry's 2nd place finish wasn't the win he desired, but it did come with a consolation prize in the form of the final $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus of the year. Justin Allgaier crossed the line in 3rd. On Sunday, Alex Bowman took the car Jimmy Johnson made famous and put it back to victory lane in the Dryden 400 at Dover. Bowman took the lead with 97 laps left, beating teammate Kyle Larson off pit road, and then pulled away by 2.017 seconds. Larson held on to second, and Chase Elliott was 3rd. William Byron was 4th. It was the 4th time in Cup Series and the 2nd time in the modern era that one team took the top 4 positions in the final rundown. Next up for NASCAR in the Cup Series, it's the Echo Park, Texas Grand Prix at the Circuits of America on Sunday, May 23rd at 2:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Pitballs 250 at the Circuit of the Americas on Saturday, the 22nd at 4 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. And the trucks are in action at the Toyota 225 at the Circuits of the Americas on Saturday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. on
Just
Fox.
call it Coda.
Coda.
There you
At the Coda. That's the end, right? Or is that when you have to go back?
That's with a D. It's the wrong Coda. Yeah.
My bad. NTT IndyCar Series action. The IndyCar Series trend of the first-time winners continued on Saturday at the GMR Grand Prix as Rinus VK of the Netherlands scored his first career win. The Dutch driver also gave Ed Carpenter Racing its first ever victory at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. VK defeated IndyCar rookie Romain Grosjean by 4.510 seconds. Alex Palou rounded out the podium. Next up for IndyCar, the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday, May 30th at 11 a.m. on NBC. Man, the month of May is something special. I don't care what anybody says. Even in this era where things have changed a little bit, I still get excited about Indy.
It just doesn't seem like we're at the end of May already.
No, it doesn't. I mean, we're talking about the Memorial Cup next week at Lima Land, the 28th, 29th, 30th, that weekend for the Ron Colley Jr. Memorial races we got going on. And it just doesn't seem right. I keep thinking it's 3 weeks away. I got a race in 2 weeks, and I got all kinds of work to do to this truck. So it's creeping up in a hurry.
Yeah. Race season's
No
moving along.
excuses.
I like
No
it.
excuses there, Jerry.
Nope, no excuses. I'm getting it done. I'm going racing. I'll be at Oakshade on June 5th. Cannot wait. That's the track my dad got his first career feature win at. Being able to announce with Scott up there, the last season and, one-offs before that has been really, really cool and kind of a bucket list item. But getting to race up there, that's going to really take care of the bucket list check mark for me. So I
wish I could race against you.
I wish
you can.
Be the announcers race.
We could schedule a grudge race.
We can run a grudge. I think my 4-cylinder can keep up with the Ocho.
I'll give you a head start.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh.
I think Pam's on here. Pam, want to make this happen?
Pam. Oh, I guess she isn't. Oh, yeah. We can see if the RK1. You can give me a lap?
Depends on how many laps we go.
I got half the motor, so I should get twice the head start.
We'll
but you got a lot less weight.
We'll talk about it.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
2,400 pounds with driver. I think my truck is 2,520 the last time I scaled it. So
we got a shower on that one.
There you go.
There it is. The Ocho versus the RK1, June 5th.
Can I get in on this?
Who's going to announce that?
No.
We'll let Ron announce.
No. I want in on this.
Oh, you're going to be in on it too? The late model? Then I want to, we got to figure out the laps because I need a head start from you then.
4 laps. I get a 2-lap head start. Ron,
no.
You get a 1-lap head start.
I think 2 laps is a lot. That's a lot to overcome in 4
Against
laps.
a late model, though? Come on now.
Well, we'll figure it out. We got Greg Stilwell Jr. going to be checking in here anytime now.
Gentlemen, I'm taking my leave. Off to do some iRacing for the Wicked Energy Gum 410 Outlaw Series. Guys, get done. 8 o'clock. Come on over to Dirt Racing Network. Check it out. Going to be a good time. Wicked Cushion Esports. Everybody involved with that. Looking forward to it. So, until then.
8 o'clock. I work through lunch. I'm eating dinner, Jerry. Sorry to disappoint you, brother.
You can eat and watch.
There you go. Yeah. Something to watch.
Streaming on the big screen. You and Kathy can still listen to my great voice. And
good job tonight, Jerry.
All right,
Thank
Jerry.
you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Yep. See you next week.
All right.
I'm going to thank Big D's Pizza and Subs, Ribs. We already did Big D's, didn't we? I have them down here twice for some reason. How about Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, the most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced, manufactured here in the U.S. Check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. Check out their new hoodies. It's available on their website. Also, Millstream Speedway. Haven't heard much from Scott and the crew at Millstream. I'm assuming they're hard at work getting things ready for the opener coming up on June 13th.
I know they are.
Late models, Struts, so both you and I will be there. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, or stop by millstreamspeedway.net for more information. Looking forward to it.
No, I did hear that Scott was down at Fremont Saturday, and he was talking with the truck guys. And I heard he made a commitment that if they brought enough of the Fremont trucks, that they could run their own division. So there's a little carrot out in front of the Fremont truck guys. Show up Millstream on Sundays.
I'm sure Corey McCoy will round up some drivers there. He's always good for that, getting them at Sandusky and wherever. Should we start with the racing? I went to Toledo Speedway on Saturday for that school bus figure eight. It's the first time I've seen that in person.
Right.
And I really wanted to get audio. I should have been recording Kenny Schrader, his post-race interview, because he actually went up through the field and was leading for a while until he got smashed into a parked bus in the intersection.
I watched it on your live feed, and he drove a heck of a race.
Yeah, his interview, though, was great afterwards. He's like...
and then somebody dumped him.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't realize you got to drive like an asshole. But he had a lot of fun, and he said it's not really school bus racing. It's more bus wrestling, is how he described it. It was pretty good interview there. And, of course, Greg Stilwell Jr. picking up that victory in the late model sportsman feature. It was pretty interesting.
I think it was Archie Paget that went on his side.
Yeah, and they rolled him back over and kept going. It was fine.
Right.
No big deal. No big way. And they, for the boat race, one of the cars, I guess, was having some issues, so they actually got a push vehicle that was out there towing a boat doing the figure eight. Yeah. I think one of the Padges was driving that as well.
Oh.
So the boat got hit. The vehicle that was towing was fine. It pulled off and got away. So anyway, go through a little bit of news here before we get to Greg, who should be checking in anytime now. Due to ongoing restrictions in Ontario,
Canada,
focusing on COVID-19 health and safety measures, organizers for the Honda Indy Toronto and the NTT IndyCar Series have canceled this year's running of the event. And speaking of which, this is going to be Greg, so we'll just throw him live on the air. Mr. Stilwell.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Greg, welcome to Hammer Down.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Doing the double duty, talking to you guys and helping coach my son's t-ball team. So we're kind of doing a little bit of both.
Oh, you're coaching. Right. I didn't realize you were coaching too. I thought you were just watching. Are you guys winning?
No. It's just t-ball, so it's pretty cool. They all get to bat, and they all.
They're not allowed to keep score, Scott. Come on, get into this parenting thing.
So they all get participation awards, huh?
Only the parents keep score.
Yeah, it's only for kindergarten, so we're just trying to get the fundamentals down. So,
okay. Well, congratulations on your participation award on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was awesome. Last time we had talked, we had the Silver Cup Championship, and we had won that first feature race in the sportsman division out there, and there was a lot of high hopes after that, and I was really excited to get going again. And obviously 2020, but with COVID, it kind of changed things a little bit. So it was a nice fresh breath of air to come out and grab the first win of the night.
Now you didn't get to run at all last year, did you?
No, we didn't. We looked at a couple of possibilities, but all in all, just nothing really added up on our schedule to go out and try to get the car ready. We did have a race in October. I think they were going to put us part of the Glass City, but we ended up getting rained out, so we didn't run.
What were you going to say, Ron?
I don't know. I've moved on from that.
Okay. Let's talk about that win on Sunday. I mean, things got pretty interesting there early, right in front of you with that incident with Grant Hedges and Mike Young. What was your take on all that? And how'd you get through it?
Well, I was like, of course, opening night, we're going to wreck them up here pretty early in the feature. And so I was kind of already hesitant just because of that thought, but when it happened, I was like, oh, this is a little too close for comfort this early in the race. But funny story about that is I got underneath of Young just a little bit, and it kind of pickled up the bumper and the hood a little, and I thought, well, I might have screwed something up bad. And the guys on pit road said that we were good when we were going around. And then I informed them at that time. I was like, I think I lost brakes also when that happened.
I heard your quote on that one.
Yeah, so turns out that when I hit the brake so hard that the left rear caliper, the welds, everything broke there and spun around. So, after that, we pretty much ran the entire race without brakes.
And you proved that you don't need brakes, apparently, at Toledo Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's faster at Toledo without them.
Now, unfortunately, right when that incident started happening, coming out at turn number 4, some guy stood up right in front of me, and I couldn't see anything except for the aftermath. So you did have a little contact with Young then?
Yeah, just a little bit. We got up under his bumper a little bit, and then kind of, like I said, our bars a little bit there to hold the hood in place, kind of pushed back, but all relatively minor, and we were able to continue on, so that was good.
The car handled okay then without having brakes? I mean, did you still try to use the brakes?
I did have front brakes, so I guess that was, I had a little bit. You always worry about having too much brake bias one way or the other, but it worked out the way that it did. I was light on it because I didn't want to have to mash them for any reason and find out if the car was going to stay straight or not. Well,
once you got the lead and drove out to, you drove out to a pretty big lead and pretty much uncontested from there. I mean, do you guys have spotters?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
I thought I saw the spotter guys going up there. So are they telling you how much of a lead that you have and whether you need to pick it up or not?
Yeah, I was actually, it was kind of funny because typically I'm hearing a lot from my spotter, and I wasn't hearing a whole lot. And I know there's some really fast cars that are behind me. So I started wondering, well, what the heck's going on back there? And I think there was about 10 laps to go, and I finally got some feedback from them that hey, you got plenty of room. You got like 15 car lengths. Just hit your marks and drive a smooth race. You'll be all right. And I actually had radio back to him. I was like, oh, I was wondering what was going on. I didn't hear you say anything. So it was pretty cool that we had a pretty substantial lead, and they just kind of let me drive the car and let me do my thing. So it worked out pretty good.
So how big was
with no brakes? I would assume that you were backing your corner up just a little bit and rolling the center. And did you learn anything from that?
Yeah, actually, it was a different technique than I typically use. I'm a little more aggressive on entry, so having to back out a little bit earlier, and it taught me a few things as far as how the car is going to rotate the corner. And I mean, I'll keep my secrets to myself, but I definitely learned a few things.
So how big was the celebration after the win on Sunday?
It was pretty special. I think we have some doubters out there, to be unnamed, but I've heard some rumblings that maybe we don't belong where we're at, and it's kind of a fluky thing. So to get the second one was really important to me. And then on top of that, my grandfather had passed away recently, and so I took that opportunity, obviously to dedicate it to him. I got pretty emotional about it. Kind of hard to talk about, but after a deep breath and everything, it really sat in that it was something pretty special. And like I told them, that I would never have been able to race if I hadn't had my grandfather teach me how to drive a stick. And so that just meant all that much more to me about it.
Awesome. So how well positioned do you think you are for making a run at the track championship? I mean, despite the win, you're second in points to Ron Allen, but it's only one race. So long way to go. What's your expectations as far as the track championship at Toledo?
Well, my expectation is exactly that. We're going to go after it. There's no reason not to. We've got a pretty solid machine. It's been really consistent. We found the speed last year or 2 years ago. So yeah, I think that's our goal. We want to win the championship. We want to win some races and show everybody that we do belong. And let my driving and let the racing speak for itself.
I'm guessing that this second win is instilled quite a bit of confidence in you moving forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had gone so long without winning a race. First year racing was in 2002, and we won a street stock B main feature. And that, other than heat races, that was the last time that we won a race. Going back to 2019 when we won our first late model sportsman race. So I've got 3 victories now total in my career, and 2 here very close together. And I'm really planning on going out there and getting after it. I don't know. Like I said in my interview the other night, I was close to walking away because we just weren't competitive enough. I felt like I had the skill set, but I just didn't want to go out and run laps. I wanted to win, and I wanted to be competitive. And my wife was a huge pillar and talking me out of that and telling me to continue on. And so basically 2019 came down to I'm going to give it one more shot. We're going to throw everything we've got at this car and see what happens. And it was kind of like a last hurrah, and it just all worked out. And now I'm more motivated than I've ever been. So it's kind of crazy. It's almost like my first season again.
Yeah, Jerry was mentioning something. Jerry, our other co-host, had to leave here a little bit ago. He wanted to ask about the retiring thing, that he heard you were retiring. So that kind of explains what's going on with that. I mean, so what's your outlook now on racing? I mean, are you going to keep doing this as long as you can? I mean, any...
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think my plan is to keep going. I've got goals, so I really want to make sure that we can get this championship, and that's really what I want to go after. And then, if we achieve that, maybe we'll do some traveling or something and try some different tracks and see how we might, square up against some other competition in other places. But for the most part, Toledo and Flat Rock are going to be our home tracks, and I don't anticipate a whole lot of change with that. We might, run out and try to catch a couple of somewhere just to do something different. But other than that, yeah, we're really focused right now on championship.
Awesome. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to? I know one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd like to thank Fuse Tech, Hot Tech, their ceramic welding company, Alternative Plumbing, Fast Lane Automotive, Free Spraying Photos, Smashing Toledo, Fisher Metal and Fabrication, my company Blade, Long-Term Landscaping, and then also can't forget Ron. I forgot him the other night, so I sincerely apologize, Ron. I'm making it up to you now, but
absolutely heartbroken.
I know, man. Dad said something to me after. He's like, you forgot one. And I was like, I did? And he goes, yeah, you forgot Ron. I was like, dang it. So I told him I'd make it up to you. So here it is, man. Ron Miller Race Cars for any racing needs. Go see him. He definitely has what you need.
Well, the next time you're in Winter's Circle, I expect a live, not on our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the easy way to go. I also got to thank my crew. Our success is all at the hands of Brad Youngster and Youngster Motorsports. He's put a lot of time in helping us figure out the car. It's kind of the key piece of getting him involved with us, going to him with my concerns, and he said, and he was right. He fixed it. This year we've got Jeff Meyer Jr. on our crew position, kind of helping Dad out a little bit, and he really helped us out tremendously on Sunday with that feature win. And then my spotter Randy Randall and my uncle Bobby is also a crew member and helps out with whatever we need. So without those guys and the team aspect, we definitely wouldn't be where we're at.
Well, Ron's head's getting kind of big because he's got his sponsorship on a number of winning drivers recently. So I'm sure he appreciates that.
He's putting out a good juju. I guess we'll take it.
Need to share some of that. Are y'all set, ready to go for this weekend then?
Yeah, we're going to go through the car. We got it out. We got everything fixed. It was broke. We're going to get it on the scales tomorrow and just fine tune some things, see where we're at after the feature from Sunday, and hopefully make some changes. I'd like to go after that track record also. So, like I said, I got some pretty lofty goals, and we're going to have to work really hard to achieve them. So, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go after it all. I'm just that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Buy some tires.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to come to Ron and get some tires. Well, I got blades, too. They seem to help me out pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Well, Greg, congratulations on the win last weekend. Good luck this weekend. We were talking to Thad Moffitt earlier, and we told him the good juju that we usually give off to our guests on the show that usually go on and are pretty successful in their next race. So both you guys at Toledo Speedway on Saturday night. So we expect a win from each of you. No pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely can tell you that you're chasing after it, and hopefully we can have a very similar outcome, and I'll make sure that I'll hit Ron up in victory lane, making up for lost time. But I appreciate you guys having me on the show, and have a great evening. All right.
All right, man. Thanks, Greg.
Congratulations on a well-deserved win, Greg. You guys work hard.
I appreciate it. I really do.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, buddy. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Bye. Good luck with the T-ball.
Absolutely.
They don't keep score, Scott.
Greg Stilwell Jr. there. I believe, now I got thinking about it. I think the last time we had him on the show was after he got that Gold Cup championship, which would have been after the 2019 season, and he didn't race last season. So his first race
intact.
His first race after being on the show was this past Sunday, and he got the win. So yeah, there you go.
And now he's been on the show again.
Yes.
We expect big things.
And there's Charlie from Freeze Frame Photos. I was going to say that Greg and I are sponsor teammates. I haven't announced this yet, but we're going to get a Freeze Frame Photo sticker on the side of the Ocho.
All right.
Yeah. So, and maybe I can add my name to that list. I don't know. All right. We got some news to catch up on here. We'll go over this weekend's racing. We have the weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman. I almost said Ryan Newman. I think I did that last week. And this week's How Many? Chance to win a Big D's pizza coming up in just a few. I had like 6 pages of prep. I got too much stuff here going on. A couple did you see the altercations that broke out after the late model feature at Tri-City Speedway in North Carolina? Late model race.
I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be happening quite a bit, but some people got actually at least one person got injured in this altercation, and some of the stuff I saw in the video was a little crazy. But I guess a couple drivers in the late model feature got together under a late caution. Justin Johnson and Jacob Hefner, I believe his name is. Hefner's team approached Johnson. His team was celebrating the win on the front stretch at the time, and they had gotten into a little altercation there. And then after that fight was broken up, things sparked up again in the pits, this time with tools being used as weapons. And the hauler tires got slashed. I saw some girl with, it looked like a big wrench just wailing on somebody on the ground, which I was like, holy cow. Seems a little bit much. But at least one person was injured and needed stitches in that altercation.
Yeah, that's over the top, Scott. And
a little bit, yeah.
Really can't go there.
Yeah, leave it between the drivers and no extra weapons. Paul Menard will run the Thor Sport NASCAR truck this weekend at Circuit of America's race.
Oh.
So, yeah, Thor Sport sporting Paul Menard. Remember Paul Menard kind of gave up his ride so Matt DiBenedetto could get into the 21 car. So, interesting to see how he does in the truck series. Ricky Craig, did you hear about him? Anderson Speedway. He was injured Saturday night. He ran over some debris and either cut a fuel line or something, and the car just burst into flames. He was actually leading and was under the yellow flag when all this happened. The car erupted. He suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns. He was not wearing gloves. And I think I might have read, don't quote me on this, but I thought I read that they had window nets and that his window net wasn't properly put up, so they had some issues trying to get that down. So
his hands were burning and he couldn't think clearly to get out.
Yeah. So there's another reason for safety equipment. As much as you can. There's too much is not overkill as far as safety equipment goes. Xfinity Series driver Justin Haley has been medically cleared to return to competition for this weekend's event at Circuit of the Americas. After sitting out the race at Dover last weekend, he had passed the COVID-19 stuff. He's moved beyond that. That's why he had to sit out at Dover last week. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper announced, we talked a little bit last week that the Camping World guy, Lamonis, was going to pitch in $1 million or something to help out North Wilkesboro to bring that back if they would bring a race back there. Well, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper announced this week that $30 million coming from the American Rescue Plan will go towards repairs to North Wilkesboro, Rockingham, and Charlotte. I don't know what needs to be repaired at Charlotte, but Rockingham and North Wilkesboro have not hosted a cup race in quite some time. Rockingham had some races in the early 2000s, maybe even up to 2010 or something. I think they're making that a entertainment complex, as I recall.
That'll certainly be good for the state, Scott.
Yeah.
And it will employ people.
And here's something right up your alley. Kind of a political thing here for you.
All right.
The U.S. Motorsports Association Congressman Patrick McHenry from North Carolina introduced Recognizing the Protection of Motorsports Act 2021, or the RPM Act. I mean, we've kind of heard about the RPM Act off and on over the past few years. This act, which would permanently block attempts by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, to regulate modified motor vehicles used for racing. For decades, automobile enthusiasts have modified street vehicles into race cars, that were used exclusively at closed racetracks. In early 2016, the EPA issued a proposed rule that would make it illegal for this practice to continue via the Clean Air Act, even though Congress never intended for race cars to be subject to the Clean Air Act. While the proposed EPA regulation was withdrawn in April of 2016, the RPM Act would make permanent that race cars are exempt from EPA regulations as far as the Clean Air Act goes. The Clean Air Act authorizes the EPA to regulate motor vehicles, but these regulations have never applied to race cars. In 1990, Congress affirmed this exemption when it authorized the EPA to regulate non-road vehicles and explicitly excluded any vehicle used solely for competition from the non-road definition.
In that 2016 action, Scott, there was a huge petition drive. I believe that probably swayed the EPA.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that that stuff doesn't come back, or this RPM Act sounds like a pretty good deal for racers. Brad Keselowski has been offered an ownership stake in the current Roush Fenway Racing program. The new team would be called Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. Both Roush and Penske run Ford machines. Roush Fenway has been struggling with performance in recent years. However, the next-gen car will make its debut next year and is likely to level the playing field across the board. Beyond ownership, it's rumored that Keselowski would become the new driver of the number 6 machine. The future of the current number 6 driver, Ryan Newman, is unknown. Newman may field a third entry for Roush, or Newman could be moving away from the organization. I don't want to see Keselowski in the 6. That's Mark Martin's number.
Yeah.
Greg Biffle, Scott Speed, and Scott Bloomquist, Ron Miller's favorite racer, have been added to the lineup at select events for the inaugural SRX Superstar Racing Experience season. So
I see that they're still adding racers that either are retired or should be.
Wait, let's see. Biffle, he's kind of retired. Speed's been retired.
Yeah.
So I see where you're going with that.
Okay, Scott.
Danica Patrick's race day on the 105th Indianapolis 500 will go from being on the air for NBC during his pre-race and race telecast to on the track as the driver of the Indy 500 pace car.
Nope.
Patrick competed in 8 Indy 500s as a driver, and I'm sure there's a joke in there as far as her driving the pace car and something happening, but we won't go there. We're going to let that go. Let's check out our Twitter poll results from this past week, which actually we should have brought this up to Greg. And it's the Twitter poll was simply dirt or asphalt. That was it.
Oh, well.
And the results are dirt, 94.7%.
Oh, my.
Asphalt kind of got its ass kicked. Got 0, and 5.3 were both. And 0% neither, so that's a good sign, too.
Well, okay.
So I guess our audience heavily skews dirt, so ARCA races on dirt, so that's okay that we had, So, moving on. What else we got here? How many? Let's play how many.
Do we have a Twitter poll for this week?
I haven't come up with one yet. Usually I do it on Monday. What do you got?
No, I just thought maybe you had some thoughts and we could put it out there.
Usually it's Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, oh, crap, I got to come up with something for a Twitter poll. What are we thinking? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm always open. If anybody's got any ideas, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or whatever. Last week's how many late models were going to be at Eldora on this past Saturday for the American Late Model Series show. The Mudslinger deal? And we had some pretty high guesses. But you were the closest. The actual number was 22 cars.
Oh, wow.
Which seemed pretty low for a 5,000 to win show. You picked 36, so you're the on-show winner. Dean Henry was actually the closest of our audience. He picked 35, but since he can have as many pizzas as he wants anyway, since he owns Big D's Pizza, we're going to give the winning number of 36 picked by Doug Frost. So Doug Frost is our how many winner for this week. Gets a Big D's Pizza there. Get with Dean Henry or shoot me a message and we'll take care of you. So this week's how many? And it's been a little lean in recent years for the ARCA Menard Series. How many ARCA Menard Series competitors will start the race Saturday night at Toledo Speedway?
How many will start?
How many will start?
Okay, so if there's an incident in qualifying or practice, okay. Ooh.
What do you got, Ron?
It's going to be in the teens. I'm going to go with 19.
All right. That reminds me of a song. I'll have to play it for you sometime from the 80s. It's terrible. I'm going to go with 18 then.
Oh, yeah.
Going with 18. So if you want a chance to win a Big D's Pizza, head on over to our Facebook page. If you're not listening to us live right now on Facebook and it's not Thursday night, find the video and put your guess in the comments. Just put a number in there. We'll give you until, we'll say noon on Saturday. We'll let it go for a while here. So you got plenty of time.
Kathy's not exactly in studio. I think she's out in the sunroom on her iPad. Hopefully she's listening. She's back home.
All right. Well, if she has a guess, let me know. I'll write it down here.
All right.
Want to mention Millstream's? I mentioned Millstream, didn't I already? Yeah, we talked about it. We didn't talk about Ron Miller race cars. Somebody did a bad job with the prep this week. Ron Miller Race Cars, Lambertville, Michigan. Give them a call, 734-856-7223 for race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs. 20? Is that what I heard?
20.
20. All right.
She said 20.
She's got 20. So be like Jerry, and I actually purchased some stuff from Ron. Actually, I'll be seeing you after the show because I got to pick some stuff up.
Some more stuff, yeah.
Yeah, some stuff. So if you need stuff, give Ron a call. 734-856-7223. Yeah. And here, we'll give you, there, you got your own ticker now for a little bit.
Baby.
Got too many sponsors for one ticker. Coming up, we have that weekend weather pit stop right now. Let's talk about the racing going on this weekend. Tomorrow night, Lima Land Motorsports Park. Run for the Rabbit, featuring the NRA 360 Sprints, UMP Modified, stock cars in action. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. General admission is $12 for that. Flat Rock, special Friday night date. It's the Friday night special for Flat Rock Speedway up in Michigan. They're going to feature the Outlaw Super Late Models, figure eights, and street stocks. Main gate opens at 5:30, racing at 7:30. General admission tickets there is $15. Attica Raceway Park, big show tomorrow there. Kistler Engines Classic, World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprints, $10,000 to win. 305 Sprints racing in support of that event. Gates will open a little earlier at 3:30. Racing at regular race time, 7:45. General admission for that one. You're going to have to dig into your pockets a little bit more for a $10,000 to win show. That's going to be $32 for general admission for that. But they are opening up those extended bleachers. They added on to the back of their bleachers. So first time those will be open for people to use. So that's cool. That's all. That's your choices for Friday night. Saturday, yeah, you got a lot of choices there too. Toledo Speedway featuring the Hearst Potato Chip 200 with the ARCA Menard Series. Late model Sportsman and the factory stocks will be in action. The support class features will start at 5. The ARCA race will start at 8 p.m. General admission tickets there is $25 advance, $30 day of. Oakshade Raceway in action with UMP late model Sportsman Bombers Compacts. Gates open at 4, racing at 7 p.m. General admission $14 at Oakshade. Sandusky Speedway, they're going to have the Modifieds, the Renegades, the Beginner Stocks, the Pure Stocks. Pit gate opens at 3, main gate at 4, racing at 7 o'clock at Sandusky. General admission $12 there. I believe there was some extra money added into
one of the divisions.
The Renegades, yeah, they have added something in there. So a little extra there at Sandusky Speedway. Fremont Speedway back in action with 410 sprints, 305 sprints, dirt trucks, and the makeup 305 sprint feature from April 24th where they got cut short. So some extra 305 sprint car racing for you. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission $15 for that show at Fremont Speedway. Eldora Speedway, it's family fireworks night featuring the NRA 360 sprints, modifieds, Eldora stocks. Gates open at 5 and racing at 7:30. Reserve seats starting at $10 for that show at Eldora. And at Shady Bowl, going to add Shady Bowl to our list of tracks here with Jerry being the announcer down there. Second annual Bill Hot Rod McElfresh 55 laps for the compacts. 1,000 to win for that show. They're also going to have late models, Thunder Cars, and the Tuners. Gates open at 4. Racing at 7. $15 for general admission there at Shady Bowl. And no, there's nothing wrong with the ticker at the bottom. That's a Ron special.
I'm just getting caught up.
Yeah, just getting caught up. There you go. So
I was out of the queue for a while.
Yes. It's time for that weekend weather pit stop. Let's check out Ryan Weekman's forecast for this weekend's racing at area tracks.
Here is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman. Well, no question about it. It's going to be warm Friday and Saturday for our races. Friday at Lima Land, Flat Rock, and Attica. Expect temperatures close to 90 degrees in the late afternoon hours, and by start times in the 7 o'clock hour, we're still going to be well into the 80s. Winds should be light, and it should be a great night for racing. Saturday, we've got Toledo Speedway starting up at 5 p.m. We've got Oakshade, Sandusky, Fremont, and Eldora all on the lineup as well. And while I do believe everybody's going to stay dry, there is just a slight chance. I'll put it at around 20% for a sneaky pop-up shower late in the day. Overall, very warm, highs back in the upper 80s. Lots of sunshine until those afternoon clouds pop up. A very summer feeling for the middle of May. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
There he goes.
And there he goes.
There he goes. Ryan Weekman. Burning some rubber there. That's about it for this week's edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Oh, we do have one other thing here. Because apparently...
What? What about it? There I am. What are we doing, Scott? Did you leave us?
I did. I don't know what happened. Hit some buttons, and then all of a sudden it was like,
oh my.
I'm not here anymore. I still have to get back to where I was going here. I was going back to the comments. So Matt Swander is stepping down as the flagman at Oakshade. So he wanted us to pass that along. We're going to miss him and his huge flags out there at Oakshade Raceway. So anyway.
Are you bringing your flags?
Those back there?
Yeah.
I could. Yeah, maybe I'll bring those.
Yeah. Woo!
I'll give them to whoever is going to be flagging on Saturday. They're clean, at least, for the most part. They'll get dirty. But
I was going to suggest Ryan Clare, but he's been running that truck. And,
oh, yeah.
You know.
Was he the kid that used to do the flags?
That was Junior.
Kid?
That was Junior Flagman.
Now he's out there racing.
And he's doing a very good job in a senior citizen truck.
Senior citizen truck. Okay.
The truck is old. And Ryan has been doing very, very well in it.
Yes, he has. Yes. We'll be back next Thursday night, 7 o'clock, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Everywhere else we are. I want to thank associate producer Dave Kemmer, field correspondents Matt Swander, Doug Dock. Matt's said he'll stick on as our field correspondent for us. So
very good.
Yeah, no Hammer Down hotline playback this week. So
thankfully,
I know you. Well, here we'll promote it though, just in case you want to leave a message, be on the show next week. 419-318-3081. That's 419-318-3081. Call it anytime, day or night. I don't care. It doesn't ring anywhere. It just goes straight to voicemail, and you can be on the show if you leave us a message.
Scott, homework assignment for you.
Uh-oh.
I know Flat Rock tried their early start time. I wonder how that worked out, and we'll have a Saturday night opportunity instead of Saturday afternoon this week, or a Friday night. So I'd be interested in knowing how well that early start time worked.
All right, I'll talk to Scott Schultz before next week's show, and I'll report back. Hopefully
Very
I'll get
good.
an A on my report.
Yay.
Thanks again to all of our sponsors, Oakshade Raceway, Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Millstream Speedway, Big D's Pizza, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos. Glad to have them back on board. They'll be with us at least through the end of June and probably beyond that. So
Yay.
make sure to support all of our great sponsors. They keep the show going. If you don't want the show to keep going, don't support them. I mean, that's cool, right?
Or if you really like the show, call Scott and we'll add you to the scroll.
Oh, there you can do that. Well, and we'll have to know. The scroll's already full. We're going to have to make another scroll, and I'll just have to keep switching or something.
No, that's okay. We can do that. You have the technology.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the ability, but we do have the technology. All right, we're out. We'll see you next week. Go enjoy some great racing action this weekend.
We'll see y'all at a racetrack somewhere real soon.
There you go.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.